Again, the principle of God's law remains the same. How you apply it can change. So here's the Old Testament law. It says put a railing on the roof, flat roof of your home. How we apply this has indeed changed to some degree because it's built into our building codes. So what law does this fit into? Well, it fits into love your neighbor, love your fellow man as yourself. Because, you see, let's take building code, electricity. You know, I think the rule is 10 outlets on a 20 amp breaker. So if you got a 20 amp breaker, you only want to put 10 outlets, you know, maybe 6 receptacles, 4 lights. That's all you can do. Now, if you put 20 outlets on a 20 amp breaker, and you build this house and you put too many outlets on it, and then you sell it to your neighbor, and your neighbor comes home, flips the switch, and his house burns down because the 20 amp breaker can't handle that. Okay, this is part of loving your neighbor as yourself. You don't want to rig something. You want to do it right. And believe me, you know, building codes, you know, I can build all kinds of things. You know, I do a little bit of electrical, wiring, plumbing, sheetrock, roofing, framing. I don't do it for a living, but I just naturally know how to do stuff like that. And I built a garage, and the building inspector came out, and I wondered why he had fake bullet holes on his car. And when he left, I understood. You know, this guy was a hated guy. I mean, everything I did was wrong. But I submitted to it because it's about concern for other people, such as in the example of the 20 outlets on a 20 amp breaker could cause a fire. You want to do the right thing. So try to respect those inspectors. Try to respect those inspectors that come out, give you such a hard time. Okay, let's take a look at another law. Deuteronomy 22 and verse 10. You shall not plow with an ox and an ass together. Now, okay, what's that about? Well, first of all, if you're a farmer, no farmer would think of plowing with an ox and an ass. So there's got to be some other meaning here. He wouldn't be that dumb to do that. Plow with an ox and an ass. So they don't hitch up together. Okay. Again, Deuteronomy 22 and verse 11, you shall not wear a garment of diverse sorts as of woolen and linen together. So what is this? What's the principle of this law? The principle of this law is simply this. There are some things that just don't mix. That's it. Okay. There are some things that just don't mix. There are some relationships that don't mix. There are some business partners that don't mix. You should have never got involved. There's some marriages. I mean, there's some marriages that the two people should have never gotten married. And a lot of you know what I'm talking about. Those who've been through a divorce, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, it just some things don't mix. So here's Old Testament law where, you know, the principle is that some things don't mix. The application of that is we have to apply it to our daily life in relationships, in marital relationships, in business partner relationships. We have to apply it to those areas. Numbers 15 and verse 38. Speak to the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them, and that you seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you go a-whoring, that you may remember to do all my commandments and be holy unto your God. So what is the principle of this law? Well, the principle is to remember, to look upon these, I'll call them tassels, because, I mean, that's what a lot of people call them. There's another name for it, but I forget what the name is. But to look upon them and to remember, to be reminded of the law of God.